So this is just a quick demonstration of the Lee loader kit. This kit has been around for quite a few many years. Basically only suitable for bolt actions. Do not use this kit if you're using it, planning on using it in an auto loader, semi-auto, a pump action, or a lever action. This is suitable for only those instances where you would normally be able to use a neck sizing die. If you're not sure, do some research, read a few manuals, but basically bolt action only for this kit. The advantage of this kit is it's basically self-contained and everything you need. The only thing you really need to add to this kit is a hammer and your components. Everything else is basically here. There's old stories about guys that used to go in and reload fellow hunters, 30 shells for them, cartridges for them on the bar top, and while having a few drinks. So I don't recommend drinking while reloading, but you get the point. Basically, the first thing it includes is some general cartridge information for the cartridge you're attempting to reload with this kit, as well as some standard reloading data. This load data also references the powder measure that they include with it, and then a set of instructions as well that references all the equipment in there and how to actually do this. So this is the powder measure they give you. It references certain, normal size bullets in a variety of ranges, and some common powders. This will give you volumetric measuring of powder that will give you a suitable cartridge that will function. However, don't expect them to be very hot loads, and that's a good thing. You've got a decapping pin. This decapping pin knocks out your old primer. You've got the decapping chamber. You've got a priming rod, and then you've got the die body, and this is multi-purpose. They actually call this the priming chamber, but it's your priming chamber and a bullet seater all in one. So they really know how to pack this into a tight package. Basically, you're going to be able to adjust your seating depth within the die body and drive that home. So without further ado, basically how you would normally start is with a decapping chamber. You'd take a piece of brass, you'd take your decapping rod, you'd run it through here. Let me start with that piece. Run it in, and you're going to take and drive out your old primer. Okay. Once you've done that, and I'm going to put this away because I'm not using it anymore, and I won't be using it anymore. But once you've done that, then you can take your sizing chamber, and it's going to sit proud at first, and you need to drive that home. This is also where the hammer comes in. You want to drive that back to flush. If you need a little surface to work on, that'll help drive it the rest of the way home. Now that cartridge, or the case I should say, has been neck sized, once that's completed, you'll turn it over back on this case body, or on the decapping chamber, and use your priming rod and tap that out. So now the case is free from the sizing body. Once you've done that, you can pull that priming rod if you'd like, or you can leave it in, but basically you've got to move this over and move to the priming chamber instead. We want to take a single primer and set that inside of the chamber, the center of the chamber. Give you a little close-up of that. Okay. Set your case over top of it. Gently tap. And I like to give an extra little tap on the steel side, just to be sure that the primer is seated slightly below flush. Okay. So once we've done that, you can usually just push the case out by hand, but if you need to, you could move back over to the decapping chamber, and you could tap it out there. So once that's out, we can pull that back out. Now we want to give a powder charge. So I got a powder charge sitting here waiting. Dump that in. Give it a tap. I'll take one of my bullets, which is this is a 75 grain Hornady boat tail hollow point. Drop that in. I've already adjusted the depth of the seating die, but basically we want to close this distance here. And this die body, part of the portion of the die body, can be screwed up or down to adjust seating depth, and then this lock ring can be tightened up against it to keep that from changing. So what we're going to do here is just tap that home. until it's fully seated. You can remove that. You can remove the die body, and you've got a completed cartridge. When I measure that, 2.249, I'm aiming for 2.250, so that's good. And if I take my case gauge and check, I've got a nicely gauging round, and that's complete. So we'll walk through one more of those. I just won't size this time, or I won't decap this time, but basically you're going to size, fully sized. We'll put it on the decapping chamber, drive it out. That's now free. We're going to move over to the priming chamber. I'll set a single primer within the priming chamber, and I'll set my case on top. I'll seat the primer, ensuring that the primer is slightly below flush, and it is. The case will actually push out right now, so you can get that case out. We'll switch back over to the decapping chamber for the rest of this. I'll pull out the seating rod. I'll set in a powder charge. I'll give that a tap just to settle it. I'll drop in a bullet. Put on my bullet seating die. Home. And one more completed cartridge. It's not fast. It's not meant to be. 2.250 on the micrometer on the nose, and in the case gauge looks perfect. So there you go, guys. If you're looking for a way to develop a load in the field, maybe you're at the range and you want to find an accuracy node within a ladder load. Maybe you want to mess with adjusting your seating depth off of the lands just to see if you can get some more accuracy that way. It's a fairly easy way to do that. Just keep in mind it's for bolt action only. They do have kits that are designed for pistols as well. I assume from what I've read that those will work in semi-automatics, because some of those are available, I think, like in 9mm. So that kit does vary though, because you do need to accommodate for belling the case to accept a bullet. So just make sure you look at the instructions and read that thoroughly before you purchase. But this kit is available for approximately $30, and a very easy way to reload, or at least to get your feet wet in reloading if you'd like to see what it's all about. And it does make incredibly accurate ammunition. There was a record that was held for quite some time that was done simply using one of these Lee loader kits. So if you're interested, take a look online. Several vendors carry these, including Midway USA. So let me know what you think. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. Thanks.